Have you ever watched someone do a small, ordinary thing, a parent tying a shoelace, a teacher greeting a child at the door, and felt something steady and right in the world? That quiet feeling is the kind of meaning Confucianism points us toward. Not glory or solitude, but the moral gravity of everyday roles, performed with care. Mai was a middle school teacher in a city where everyone seemed to be sprinting toward whatever came next. She loved literature, believed in possibility, and kept a list of ambitious projects she hoped to launch with her students. Yet her days were swallowed by emails, lunchroom disputes, and standardized tests. The pull to be important in some headline-making way grew louder, and she began to feel that the true worth of her life was being postponed, deferred to some future achievement. Confucianism asks a different question. Instead of asking how one becomes famous or how one escapes the smallness of daily life, it asks, how does one become a person worthy of trust in the relationships one actually has? The classical answer centers on cultivation, Shen, the disciplined shaping of character so that one's roles are performed with integrity. Meaning arises where self-cultivation meets social responsibility. At the heart of this vision is Ren, often translated as humaneness or benevolence. Ren is not a lofty sentiment. It's the disposition that shows up when you consider the other as someone whose flourishing matters. It is the steady warmth behind May's patience with a student who keeps disrupting class, the small refusal to treat a person as a statistic. Ren becomes visible in the texture of everyday interactions. Alongside Ren is Li, convention rendered as moral technology, ritual, propriety, and pattern. Ritual here doesn't mean empty formality. It means the practices, greetings, respectful listening, consistent expectations that shape the environment and teach people how to be together. A school assembly, a properly run parent meeting, an unhurried space for grief, all these are forms of lie that cultivate mutual respect. May discovered that the rituals she had once dismissed as bureaucratic were actually scaffolding for trust. They taught students how to stand in relation to one another. Confucian ethics also foregrounds roles, filial piety, xiao toward parents, loyalty to community, fidelity and friendship. These are not chains but anchors. The classical image is the junzi, often translated as noble person or exemplary person. Someone who, through steady practice, becomes morally reliable. The junzai is not perfect. They are disciplined, aware, and consistent, the kind of person others can count on when life gets difficult. May's transformation was neither dramatic nor cinematic. It was gradual, choosing to show up for a nervous parent-teacher night, staying after school to revise an assignment, refusing the shortcut that sacrificed dignity for efficiency. Each small choice was a tile in a larger mosaic. Another Confucian idea is the rectification of names, zhengming, the simple claim that words should match reality. If someone is a leader, their actions should fit the title. If you call yourself a teacher, act like one. The power of this thought lies in its insistence that meaning is not found in lofty claims, but in embodied practice. Titles are not decorations, they are responsibilities. Mai found that taking her title seriously, letting the name shape her conduct, gave her days a slow-burning purpose. Confucianism also ties personal cultivation to social harmony. The ethical life is not solitary virtue, but a web of relationships that extends past you into family, school, and society. Meaning here is durable because it is shared. The care you put into own role ripples outward, influencing others in ways you might never fully witness. This framework reframes struggle. The grind of daily life, the repetition, the small injustices, the unpaid emotional labor, becomes the terrain of moral formation rather than noise to be escaped. Confucian meaning isn't theatrical heroism. It's the steady accrual of moral credit through dependable acts. Over time, these acts create a life that is trustworthy, nourishing, and worth remembering. Me never became a viral sensation. She did, however, Become the teacher whose students remembered how she listened, who kept traditions alive in a changing school, who modeled a patient, principled way of being. Her story shows what Confucianism calls us to build meaning not by fleeing the ordinary, but by loving it fiercely enough to make it better. Confucianism's invitation is quietly radical. Take your small duties seriously, cultivate your character with humility, and watch how a life shaped by care becomes surprisingly and inevitably great.